What if the player who changed basketball forever is also the one critics accuse of destroying it? Steph Curry isn't just the greatest shooter of all time, he's the man who turned the three-pointer into the most feared weapon in sports.
Three-pointer, bang! Steph Curry nails a three-pointer with 7/10 of a second remaining!
He hits shots that look impossible, wins championships, and celebrates in ways that make entire arenas shake. But with every no-look bomb, every shimmy, every night-night pose, one question lingers. Did Curry revolutionize basketball or ruin it? To understand how this debate even started, we have to go back to the moment Curry stopped being just a shooter and became something much more dangerous. When the Golden State Warriors drafted Steph Curry with the 7th pick in 2009, he wasn't supposed to be a generational icon. Scouts doubted his size, his defense, even his ability to stay healthy. His ankles betrayed him so often that people whispered his career might end before it even started. His celebrations? Non-existent. A finger pointed to the sky, acknowledging both God and his mother Sonia, polite, respectful, nothing to taunt defenders or energize arenas. But on February 27, 2013, inside Madison Square Garden, Curry's destiny shifted. Against the Knicks, he scored 54 points, draining 11 threes that felt like daggers in the heart of New York. Every shot silenced the crowd a little more. Every flick of his wrist carried the swagger of a man no one could guard. By the time the game ended, even though Golden State lost, the basketball world realized they had just witnessed something special. Curry wasn't just a shooter, he was a showman. And that night was his announcement party. These weren't empty gestures, they were statements. Statements that said, "I knew it was going in, before you did." That confidence spread. Kids at playgrounds copied his celebrations. NFL players flashed the night after touchdowns. Soccer stars broke out the shimmy after goals. Curry wasn't just dominating basketball, he was infecting the culture. But as his showmanship grew, so did the critics. For every fan who loved the theatrics, another saw arrogance. For every kid who copied his threes, an old-school coach shook his head. And soon, the backlash hit full force. Steph Curry's rise coincided with basketball's transformation into a three-point obsessed league. Analytics said it was the smart play. Curry made it look unstoppable. The result? Teams fired mid-range shots from their playbooks. Centers camped behind the arc instead of bruising in the paint. Young players skipped footwork drills for deep threes. Suddenly, basketball didn't look like it used to. Games became shootouts. Possessions ended quicker. Variety faded. And critics pointed to one man, Steph Curry. They said he ruined basketball, that he turned it into a video game. Even legends like Charles Barkley argued that the Warriors' style wasn't real basketball. Curry's response? Calm, but cutting. If people hated his style, he said, then they should beat him. Few ever did. And every shimmy after another logo three only fueled the fight. But the criticism wasn't just about style, it became personal, questioning Curry himself. For all the confidence he shows on the court, Curry has admitted to something surprising: imposter syndrome. Yes, the 4-time champion, 2-time MVP, and greatest shooter alive sometimes wonders if he truly belongs. It's a reminder that even legends carry doubt, even as they make defenders look foolish. Golden State's 2-timeline experiment didn't help. The team tried to rebuild with young stars while competing for titles at the same time, drafting players like James Wiseman instead of adding veterans. Curry has since admitted the plan had missteps. For a player obsessed with winning, those were frustrating years. Years where some people thought the Warriors' dynasty was over. But doubt and struggle only sharpened Curry's edge. Each setback made him more dangerous. And every time critics thought he was finished, he pulled out something new. Steph Curry's genius isn't just in his jumper. It's in the chaos he creates without the ball.
The lead!
Watch him for one possession. He never stops moving. Sprinting baseline to baseline, using multiple screens, darting into the corner, then cutting back out to the arc. Defenders get lost, they get tired. And when they slip, Curry punishes them instantly. Analysts call it organized chaos. Defenders call it hell. Opposing announcers complain about all the grabbing, holding, and pushing used to slow him down. But Curry never stops. That constant movement is why he isn't just the best shooter. It's why he's the hardest player to guard. And when the shot finally goes up, Curry often adds insult to injury, turning before it drops, strutting down the court, or flashing his newest celebration. Which brings us to one of the most fascinating parts of his legacy. Curry's celebrations tell the story of his career. The shimmy became his signature in the early years. Playful, joyful, a little cocky. Then came the hand stare, as if even he couldn't believe what he just did. The counting celebration, holding up fingers to mark his points. The binoculars, after a no-look dime. The mean mug, after cooking a defender. And then the most iconic of all, night. night. A simple gesture, putting his hands together and tilting his head, as if he just tucked the opponent into bed. It started in the 2022 playoffs, as the Warriors marched back to the finals. Soon, every athlete on earth copied it. Football players, boxers, kids in Little League. It was Curry at his most disrespectful and most influential. These celebrations weren't just fun. They were psychological weapons. Opponents hated them. Fans loved them. And the NBA couldn't look away. Curry's fingerprints are everywhere. Kids in every gym worldwide now pull up from deep shouting "Curry" as the ball leaves their hands. Teams design entire offenses around spacing and threes. Coaches preach efficiency, often banning mid-range shots altogether. But with that dominance came backlash. Critics argue that the game lost its artistry. That post-play, physicality, and diverse styles were replaced by endless long-range bombs. They say Curry made basketball predictable. They say he broke the game. And yet how many players in history can say they reshaped a sport entirely in their image? Magic Johnson brought flash, Michael Jordan brought dominance, LeBron James brought versatility, Steph Curry brought revolution. Whether you love it or hate it, the NBA will never look the same again. And maybe that's why he's both loved and hated. Because true change is always polarizing. What makes Curry different isn't just the numbers. It's the moments. The 54 at MSG, the shot from nearly half court to stun. OKC, the unanimous MVP season. The finals where he finally grabbed the elusive MVP trophy. The night after burying teams in the 2022 playoffs. The career-high 62 points against Portland after Damian Lillard doubted him. Every one of those moments carried a celebration, a look, a gesture that burned into memory. And every one became proof that Steph Curry wasn't just great. He was unforgettable. Even when injuries hit, even when critics circled, Curry found ways to make history. And that's what sets him apart. The ability to turn doubt into fuel, criticism into culture, and impossible shots into routine highlights. So who is Steph Curry really? To some, he's the smiling assassin who ruined the game by making every kid jack up threes. To others, he's the revolutionary who expanded what was possible, who gave smaller players hope, and who made basketball fun again. Maybe he's both. Maybe greatness always carries two sides. Because Steph Curry isn't just the greatest shooter alive. He's a mirror. Fans see inspiration. Critics see frustration. Young players see possibility. Old school legends see the death of their era. And through it all, Curry just keeps being himself. Shooting, celebrating, and changing the game every single night. So, now it's your turn. Did Steph Curry revolutionize basketball? Or did he ruin it?